A recent poll reveals that 80% of Americans believe our nation is more divided along ideological lines than at any time in our history. Yet that same survey also reveals 90% of us believe that strong leadership is vital for success. And this is not a new idea. In fact, Thomas Jefferson, more than 200 years ago, reminded us that the preservation of this delicate thing called a democracy depends on developing a cadre of leaders with integrity, ability, and vision. We at Troy University embrace leadership development as vital to our culture and to our mission. And developing the next generation of leaders is our duty and one of our top priorities. At Troy, we spend a lot of time with students who are eager to learn about leadership, but not all learning is relegated to the classroom, and not all students are enrolled in college. And that's why it'll be my honor to speak with you on the topic of leadership development over the weeks, months, and years ahead. The United States enjoys a rich tradition of leadership. Our history books are filled with names of great patriots like Washington and Adams, great military leaders such as Eisenhower, Patton, and Chesty Puller, and statesmen such as Roosevelt and Truman. And as the chancellor of Troy University, I often address classes in our Institute for Leadership Development. And during those times, students often ask me for my definition of leadership. And while there are almost 1,000 different definitions of leadership, my answer to them is relatively simple, yet also far-ranging in scope. Simply stated, leadership, in my opinion, is the management of hope. This country is filled with men and women who have managed hope, and in so doing, they have literally changed the course of history. The most famous example of this type of leadership, in my opinion, is found in the words and actions of former President Ronald Reagan. President Reagan took office in January of 1981 when our nation was reeling from the turbulent decade of the 1970s. That era was marked by the Watergate scandal, the end of the war in Vietnam, crippling inflation, in the Iran hostage crisis, among many other great problems in our society. No doubt the United States had lost a statue on the world stage, and our nation needed to be reminded to never lose hope. President Reagan reassured the nation that he was in charge and that once again we could become that shining city on the hill. He gave us hope that the Cold War was in its last days when he urged the leader of the Soviet Union, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. He made that speech at the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin in 1987, and within 2 years, the Berlin Wall came tumbling down. And while few of us face the challenges posed by the presidency, all of us are leaders at some level. If you teach Sunday school, you're a leader. If you hold office in a civic club or in a school's PTA, you are a leader. If you offer yourself in service to your community, you're a leader. And I hope you benefit from the lessons that we have planned over the coming months. We began this series on leadership over 25 years ago, and at that time it was designed to run on a limited basis. But we've continued to see the relevance of the topic, and I hope you agree it's something that all of us should study and prepare for. Today, it's more timely than ever before, and I hope you'll join me again to discuss our great American tradition of leadership. I look forward to visiting with you again.